Check out FlipsideGaming.com for all your gaming needs. Use the promo code HEROES to save 10% on all orders over $10. From March 1st through March 31st, 2020, if you use this promo code, you will automatically be entered into a drawing to win a WPN Mystery Booster Box. Also, there's another way to enter where no purchase is necessary. See the link in the description below for full details. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another day of Magic the Gathering news. Two big stories today. The banned and restricted list has been updated, and also we got the results for Grand Prix Lyon in France, and that was a standard event. We'll take a look at the top 8 and some of the deck lists from that event as well. Quickly before we get into it though, just a fast reminder, if you go to FlipsideGaming.com, you can use that Heroes promo code, save 10% on orders over $10. And whenever you use that promo code, it does support the channel, which is always appreciated. So thank you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin by looking at the banned and restricted list update. These changes go into effect tomorrow, March 10th, and that goes for tabletop as well as Magic the Gathering Online. The arena changes will go into effect on March 12th. All right, let's see what happened. First, we have a Brawl update. Golos Tireless Pilgrim has been banned. The reason Wizards gave was about 10% of the field is running Golos right now. That is pretty high, and they're trying to add some diversity to the format. Onto a bigger format with Modern, and there has been a change here too. Once Upon a Time has been banned. Okay, so this was banned in Standard, Pioneer, now finally Modern. If you've been paying attention, maybe this one didn't really surprise you too much because this is showing up in a lot of places right now in the Modern format. And that's what Wizards said. The percentage of play is really high, and again, they want to add some diversity to the format. We have a Legacy update too. So what happened here? Underworld Breach has been banned. Okay, so again, if you're a Legacy player, maybe not too shocking. This card has looked extremely good in the format since it came out. Hasn't been around long, but these combo decks running Underworld Breach are really taking over. And again, that's what Wizards cited for their reasoning. They just felt like the meta was having a hard time keeping up with these Underworld Breach combo decks. And if you play Magic Arena, I just wanted to quickly go over the historic update for you too. Once Upon a Time has changed from suspended to banned. Veil of Summer also went from suspended to banned. And thirdly, Oko Thief of Crowns went from suspended to banned too. So they basically said they wanted to look at some of the cards that they had previously suspended. If they felt like the cards were not going to be conducive to making the format better, they would just officially ban them, and that's what you're seeing here. But there was a card that moved from suspended to legal, and that is Field of the Dead. And the reason Wizards gave for that was they felt like there was enough answers coming in the Historic Anthology 2 update. Okay, on to that standard event at Grand Prix Lyon. And before I get into the top 8, just a quick disclaimer. It is very difficult to find information on this event. There was little to no coverage. Eventually, Channel Fireball did put out the deck list, but they weren't super clear on the exact finishes. I dug in, and this is what I figured out was the top 8. I know the top decks are definitely correct and everything, and this is actually the top 8 regardless. But I have seen some other people reporting differences when it comes to like 6th, 7th, 8th place. So maybe this is off a little, but I really think this is correct based on what I went through and kind of found. With that being said, here is the top 8 as I have it right now. First place is Mono Red Aggro. That also came in 4th place. Second place was Temur Reclamation. Third place, Sultai Midrange. 5th place and 7th place was Bant Midramp. 6th place and 8th place was Rakdos Aristocrats. Let's take a look at some of these deck lists and see what was going on. Okay, here's that first place, Mono Red Aggro deck. And yeah, the deck hasn't changed too much. We've seen this now for a few weeks. Embercleave, very important card here. Of course, Torbran, Thane of Redfell. One of the big differences you'll see in this version of the deck compared to ones we saw the last couple seasons is you don't have Cavalcade of Calamity. They're not trying to go really small necessarily. They're going a little bit bigger. You even see Runaway Steamkin back again, 4 copies in the main. In the sideboard, there's even 2 copies of Experimental Frenzy. Let's take a look at the cards from Theros Beyond Death that contribute here. In the main, you have Annex Hardened in the Forge, and you have Phoenix of Ash. Now, the other Mono Red Aggro deck in the top 8 was running a copy of Phoenix of Ash in the side, and sometimes you do see that. Second place, Temur Reclamation, and you can see on the screen there, it hasn't changed much either. 4 copies of Temur Reclamation, 4 Expansion Explosions, very key card in the deck. You got your Growth Spirals in here, 4 copies in the main. Let's go ahead and see what Theros Beyond Death brought to this season. Quite a few, actually. Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath, Storm's Wrath, Thassa's Intervention, and Temple of Abandon. The sideboard also has an additional copy of Storm's Wrath. Third place is Sultai Midrange. I like seeing decks like this show up because a couple weeks ago, this wasn't something that was seeing a ton of play. It wasn't in the World Championship or anything like that. But since then, this gained a lot of momentum. It's performing very well. And as you can see here, you have a number of Planeswalkers in the build. Nissa, who shakes the world, always key with 3 copies in the main. Thiemo, Collector of Tales with 2. And most notably for me, Vraska Golgari Queen, which has a copy in the main. That is a card that has seen a little less play recently, but is doing well, obviously, in this build. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards from Theros Beyond Death that are here. In the main, again, quite a few. Atris Oracle of Half-Truths, Polukranos Unchained, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath, Agonizing Remorse, and Temple of Deceit. Fifth place is Bant Mid-Ramp. Is it a mid-range deck? Is it a ramp deck? I'll let you decide, but I've always called this one Bant Mid-Range myself. However, I can totally understand why we need to differentiate because there are a lot of ramp elements here. You're going to have things like a Boreal Grazer, Growth Spirals are in here, but then you also have some lower casting cost or mid-rangey threats, things like Teferi and Narset and Nissa. So, yeah, it's an interesting build. In some ways, it almost feels like an evolution of the Azorius Control deck, which was popular a few weeks ago. Again, I find it exciting when I see these changes occurring in the middle of the season. From Theros Beyond Death, a lot of cards here. Dream Trawler, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath again, Shatter the Sky, Elspeth Conquers Death, Temple of Enlightenment, and Temple of Plenty. Now, this one wasn't doing it, but the other Bant mid-ramp deck in the top 8 was running a copy of Heliod's Intervention in the sideboard, and you are seeing more of that right now in the standard format, not just with this deck. Other decks are also working this into the side. The last deck we'll look at today is the 6th place Rakdos Aristocrats deck. No Jund Sacrifice in the top 8, but 2 copies of this did make it. And this is another deck that is going to look pretty familiar, a lot of elements from last season, but Theros Beyond Death did enhance this deck quite a bit too. You got 5 cards in the main. Mire Triton, Woe Strider, Kroxa Titan of Death's Hunger, Timurit Calls the Dead, and Temple of Malice. In the sideboard, you find Agonizing Remorse. Alright, that is our Magic the Gathering news for the day. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on anything we discussed today. Until next time though, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon and have a great day.